Biden, your response quickly, and then we're going to move on to the next section.
My response is that think about what the president knew in January and didn't tell the American people. He was told this was a serious virus that spread in the air, and it was much worse than the flu. He went on record and said to one of your colleagues, recorded, that in fact he knew how dangerous it was, but he didn't want to tell us.
2020.
He didn't want to tell us because he didn't want us to panic. He didn't want us. Americans don't panic. He panicked. But guess what? In the meantime, we found out in the New York Times the other day that, in fact, his folks went to Wall Street and said this is a really dangerous thing. And a memo out of that meeting, not from his administration, but from some of the brokers, said sell short because we got to get moving. It's a dangerous problem.
Well, this is
I'm going to give you 30 seconds to respond, and then we're
the
going
Wall
to
Street
move on.
one, I don't know. Somebody went to Wall Street. You're the one that takes all the money from Wall Street. I don't take it. You have raised a lot of money, tremendous amount.
Okay, kids. I had to pause that because I want you guys to learn something. This is, the first debate. And I want you guys to notice something right away. Trump is actually, at the time he was the president, at the time as they are debating. And he actually just said, totally ignored the question about, how he didn't do something right away when he found out about how dangerous the pandemic is. Okay, and that is really, really bad for the country as a leader after Joe Biden as a senator candidate, just, told him that he should have locked it down after, way before 40 countries locked down their countries. Okay? All right, so just keep that in mind. What kind of a leader do you want watching over your country and your house, communities, and your markets? Because that is very important as a leader, okay? Not a leader who wants to find excuses, all right?
With the security of our elections and some breaking news from overnight, just last night, top intelligence officials confirmed again that both Russia and Iran are working to influence this election. Both countries have obtained U.S. voter registration information, these officials say, and Iran sent intimidating messages to Florida voters. This question goes to you, Mr. Vice President. What would you do to put an end to this threat? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
I made it clear, and I asked everyone else to take the pledge. I made it clear that any country, no matter who it is, that interferes in American elections will pay a price. They will pay a price. It's been overwhelmingly clear this election, I won't even get into the last one, this election, that Russia has been involved, China has been involved to some degree, and now we learn that Iran is involved. They will pay a price if I'm elected. They're interfering with American sovereignty. That's what's going on right now. They're interfering with American sovereignty. And to the best of my knowledge, I don't think the president said anything to Putin about it. I don't think he's talking to him a lot. I don't think he said a word. I don't know why he hadn't said a word to Putin.
Okay, kids. That's why I like Joe Biden. Because he stands up for the country. He doesn't stand up for political views. Or this is a leader right here, okay? This is coming from leaders, like John McCain, George W. Bush, Senior. These are leaders like Ronald Reagan.
About it. And I don't know what he has recently said, if anything, to the Iranians. My guess is he'd probably be more outspoken with regard to the Iranians. But the point is this, folks. We are in a situation where we have foreign countries trying to interfere in the outcome of our election. His own national security advisor told him that what is happening with his buddy, his buddy, Rudy Giuliani, he's being used as a Russian pawn. He's being fed information that is Russian, that is not true. And then what happens? Nothing happens. And then you find out that everything that's going on here about Russia is wanting to make sure that I do not get elected the next president of the United States because they know I know them and they know me. I don't.
You hear that, kids? That's the reason why a leader is a very strong person, like he just showed himself as. Okay? And like he says, because he knows more about the past and the history of this country and how they fought through a lot of things, than any of these guys.
Understand why this president is unwilling to take on Putin when he's actually paying bounties to kill American soldiers in Afghanistan, when he's engaged in activities that are trying to destabilize all of NATO. I don't know why he doesn't do it, but it's worked.
And just to add to what Joe Biden is saying, I, your mother, Iseta Haro, am not afraid of Putin or Trump and his people who's trying to break up America, because, like Biden says, he doesn't even stand up to them, but yet he doesn't want to give Americans the safety that they needed before the pandemic started. When the pandemic started, as well as having the FISA be denied to Americans when it was first offered to Americans after it was finished. Okay, one of the people that was actually a vaccine person actually told that on the news. I remember, and he said, and they said that that's exactly what Trump, as president, did. He actually denied Americans the first offer of the FISA. Okay. Anyways, let's hear what Biden says.
Asking the question, why isn't that being done? Any country that interferes with us will, in fact, pay a price because they're affecting our sovereignty.
President Trump, same question to you. Let me ask the question. You're going to have 2 minutes to respond. For 2 elections in a row now, there has been substantial interference from foreign adversaries. What would you do in your next term to put an end to this? 2 minutes, uninterrupted.
Well, let me respond to the first part, as Joe answered. Joe got $3.5 million from Russia, and it came through Putin because he was very friendly with the former mayor of Moscow. It was the mayor of Moscow's wife. And
by the way, during Trump's presidency, supposedly Putin was able to hack, or Putin's people was able to hack the actual the treasury. Okay, right? That's why, and I don't know why he's not held accountable for that. So just so you know, I don't know why they haven't held him, Trump accountable for that, but that was under his watch. So how safe is your money and everybody with Trump? And he took $2 trillion to cut taxes that money was supposed to save from Obama's administration to save us, after the financial crisis, you see? Anyways, here you go. Just so you know, that's a fact. That's a fact. At least I, saw it on the news.
You got $3.5 million. Your family got $3.5 million. And, someday you're going to have to explain, why did you get 3.5? I never got any money from Russia. I don't get money from Russia. Now,
yeah, but you gave money to Russia through the...
And through John, who is...
Through the treasury hacking.
Fantastic. He said, the one thing that's common...
That is our tax-paying money.
I want you to lose, because there has been nobody tougher to Russia. Between the sanctions, nobody tougher than me on Russia. Between the sanctions, between all... Joe, you were vice president when some of this was happening, and it should have never happened. And I think you owe an explanation to the...
Okay, kids. Yes, Joe Biden was a vice president to Obama. And guess what? During the 2008 financial crisis, Obama actually saved the General Motors. And, well, of course it was God's will, because all those people who fought for American freedom in 1776 and to 1887, they deserve, to at least be recognized. And John McCain is a descendant of a George Washington in the family. He's like maybe in the war, during the wars. Anyways, and that's why Joe Biden went to his funeral, because they were close friends. They've been through so much together, and they still loved each other as friends, okay? And he really helped Obama bring the economy back after the 2008 financial crisis.
American people, why is it? Somebody just had a news conference a little while ago who was essentially supposed to work with you and your family, but what he said was damning. And regardless of me, I think you have to clean it up and talk to the American people. Maybe you can do it right now.
Vice President Biden, you may respond.
Please, Speaker.
And then I do want to follow up on the election security.
I have not taken a penny from any foreign source ever in my life. We learned this president paid 50 times the tax in China, has a secret bank account with China, does business in China, and in fact is talking about me taking money. I have not taken a single penny from any country whatsoever, ever. Number one. Number two, this is a president, I have released all of my tax returns, 22 years. Go look at them. 22 years of my tax return. You have not released a single solitary year of your tax return. What are you hiding? Why are you...
He's right. What is he hiding from his tax returns? That's exactly true.
Unwilling. The foreign countries are paying you a lot. Russia's paying you a lot. China's paying you a lot. And your hotels and all your businesses all around the country, all around the world. And China's building a new road to a new a golf course you have overseas. So what's going on here? Why don't release your tax return or stop talking about corruption?
President Trump, your response.
First of all,
Okay, kids. I don't know why he hasn't released his tax returns, but of course he's gonna probably he's probably gonna avoid the question and talks about something totally different. You know what I mean? Okay, just listen now.
well, I called my accountants, underwrote it. I'm going to release them as soon as we can. I want to do it, and it'll show how successful, how great this company is. But much more importantly than that, people were saying $750. I asked them a week ago, I said, what did I pay? They said, sir, you prepaid tens of millions of dollars. I prepaid my tax. Tens over the last number of years. Tens of millions of dollars I prepaid, because at some point they think it's an estimate. They think I may have to pay tax. So I already prepaid it. Nobody told me that. Nobody told you that. Excuse me. And it wasn't written. Whenever they write this, they keep talking about $750, which I think is a filing fee. But let me just tell you, I prepaid millions and millions of dollars in taxes. Number one. Number two, I don't make...
Okay, he prepaid millions and millions, but yet he still hasn't shown the taxes. Okay, guys, now that is wrong not to show his taxes when everybody else who comes shows taxes. I mean, they all have to show their taxes if they are, true taxpayers to America or not.
Money from China? You do. I don't make money from Ukraine. You do. I don't make money from Russia. You made $3.5 million, Joe, and your son gave you. They even have a statement that we have to give 10% to the big man. You're the big man, I think. I don't know, maybe you're not, but you're the big man, I think. Your son said we have to give 10% to the big man. Joe.
Okay, guys, so that's my whole point, you really have to look at, how these things are getting done.
To talk about this more broadly, respond very quickly, and then I'll get to my question.
Why? He's been saying this for 4 years. Show us. Just show us. Stop playing around.
I know.
You've been saying for 4
And he
years.
still hasn't shown his taxes. And I don't know why these court people are not even showing it. God, I pray that you show Trump's taxes.
So low. When last time he said what he paid, he said, I only pay that little because I'm smart. I know how to game the system. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, that's right. You were right, Joe. We still haven't seen it yet. Absolutely right.